Okay guys, it's Miss Ponce de Leon again. We are going to go over our notes for solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides. So if you take out your notes, we are going to cover, we will do two videos again. We'll do one video for page 11 and then we'll do another video for page 12. So we're going to start with page 11. Here are our notes here. Let's just work on this top piece. Now, let's get started. Okay, again, solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides. If you notice, these steps to solve on the top, excuse me, are very similar to what we did yesterday. Okay, so steps to solve, we are going to distribute and combine like terms if necessary. So let's go ahead and distribute and or combine like terms as necessary. Okay, in our step 2, we're going to collect the variables. Okay, again, the variables are the ones with the X or a K or a P, they come kind of letter variables. Collect the variables on one side of the equal sign, and then we're going to collect the constants on the other. So the constants, okay, and constants are like 3, -2, 5, okay, numbers, just plain numbers, okay. And then step 4, solve the equation. Okay, and we're going to be using our inverse operations again to solve the equation. Okay, now there are a couple different types of solutions that we're going to cover. Okay, when we have one solution, okay, we have only one value which will make the equation true. Okay, so an example of solving an equation where you have one solution would be something like solving for x equal to 2. Okay, we have another type of solution called no solution. Okay, no solution means that there is not a value. There is not a value that will make the equation true. Okay, so when we solve the equation, we will come out with something like 2 equals 5. Okay, and since 2 does not equal 5, okay, then there is no solution, which basically means there is no value of x with which would make that a true statement. Okay, so that's no solution. And then we have our third type of solution. It's called all real numbers. Okay, all real numbers will make the equation true, which means I can substitute any value for x or my variable and the equation will be true. So make the equation true. Another way to another way to refer to all real numbers is infinite solutions or infinitely many solutions. It's also called an identity. Okay, so examples of that would be you solve the equation and you end up with 2 equals 2. Okay, so again, I'm going to write this a little bit neater down here. Infinitely many solutions is what it might be referred to. Solutions. Okay. So again, types of solutions. You've got, let's see, types of solutions. You've got one solution, you've got no solution, and you've got all real numbers or infinitely many solutions. Okay. No, let's see, one solution will look like x equals to 2. No solution will be like 2 equals to 5 or 3 equals to 2, something that does not equal to each other. And then all real numbers will be 2 equals to 2, 5 equals to 5, something like that. Okay, so that's our vocabulary for that section. Now let's take a look at some of these problems. So let's go up here, and the directions tell us solve each equation. If the equation is no solution or all real numbers, write no solution or infinite solutions. Okay, so we'll come back to those in a minute. Okay, now let's take a look at this problem. Okay, I have variables on both sides of my equation. So I'm going to get my variables on one side and then my constants on the other side. So I'll start with the variables. Okay, I've got a 4K and a 7K. When we're moving variables on one side, okay, let's move I'm going to write myself a note here. Okay, I'm going to move the smallest variable. Okay, and that'll make my problem solving a lot easier. So if I have variables on both sides, I'm going to move the smallest one. So in this case, I have 7K plus 2 and 4K minus 10. The smallest one, I'm going to erase this for a minute. The smallest one is 4K. So I need to get rid of that 4K by subtracting 4K from both sides, minus 4K. Okay, so now on my left side of the equation, I'm left with 7K minus 4K, 3K, plus 2 equals negative 10. Okay, so now I'm going to move my constants to the same side. So if I have my 3K on the left side, minus 2, oh goodness. Oops, sorry about that. Get back over here. Okay, see what, I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's go back. So minus 2 and minus 2. So now I'm left with 3K equals negative 10 minus 2 gives me negative 12. Okay, now I'm solving for my variable, 3 times K. The inverse operation for multiplication is division, so divide by 3, divide by 3. My answer is K equals negative 4. Okay, K equals negative 4, that is one solution. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write that down here just so we know. There's one solution. So in order to make this a true statement, 7K plus 2 equals 4K minus 10, the only answer that will work is K equal to negative 4. Okay, so one solution there. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Okay, I want to, again, get my variables on one side. I want to move my smallest variable, so I've got a 5x and a 2x. So 2x is smallest, so minus 2x, minus 2x. Okay, so now 5x minus 2x is 3x plus 2 equals, my 2x's cancel out, I'm left with 14. Now I need to get my constants on one side, so minus 2 minus 2. I'm left with 3x equals 14 minus 2 is 12. Okay, now solving for that variable, inverse operation. If I have 3 times x, I divide by 3, and x equals to 4. Okay, again, x equals to 4. That's only one solution. Okay. Now let's go to question number 3. Okay, this one's a little bit complicated, okay? A lot going on here, but let's just take it step by step. Okay, my first step tells me to distribute and or combine like terms, okay? I'm going to distribute here on this left side 1/2 times 10x plus 1/2 times 40, okay? So that looks like this. I've got 1/2 times 10x plus 1/2 times 40 equals, okay, now on my right side, I can combine these two like terms. I'm left with, I have 1x plus 2x, that's 3x plus 6. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this left side and simplify this. Okay, this is the same thing as multiplying 1/2 of 10. You either know 1/2 of 10 is 5, or take a look at this. I'm going to make these look like fractions by putting them over 1. So now I multiply across the top on this one. So 1 times 10, I'm going to do all steps so you can see what I'm doing. With my fractions, I multiply across the top when for my operations. So I have 1 times 10 over 2 times 1x plus 1 times 40 over 2 times 1, and then that's equal to 3x plus 6. Okay, I'm going through every step here so that you can follow through. You may get to the point where you don't have to do every single one of these steps, okay? So 10 divided by 2 is 5x, plus 40 divided by 2 is 20, equals 3x plus 6. Okay, so now I've got the variables on both sides. I want to put my variables on the same side by getting rid of my smallest x first. So that's minus 3x. I'm left with 2x plus 20 equals 6. Move my constants on one side, minus 20 minus 20. Going to come back over here. I'm left with 2x equals 6 minus 20 is negative 14. Okay, now to solve for my variable, inverse operations, divided by 2, x equals to negative 7. Okay, again, one solution. Okay, a little bit little complicated there, only because of that fraction, but not too bad. Okay, now let's take a look at question number 4. Okay, our first step in solving this variables on both sides is to distribute and or combine like terms. Okay, on this left side, I can distribute this 3 times 4b, 3 times negative 2. Okay, that looks like this. I've got 3 times 4b plus 3 times negative 2 equals negative 6 plus 12b. Okay, now on the side, 3 times 4b is 12b. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 equals negative 6 plus 12b. Okay, now following my steps. Okay, this may look a little confusing, but just follow our steps and we'll be fine. Okay, I need to get my variables on one side by subtracting the smaller variable. I have 12b on both sides, okay, so there's not a smaller one. They're both the same. Minus 12b, minus 12b. I'm left with negative 6 equals negative 6. Okay, this is something new. We haven't seen this. Okay, when I have negative 6 equals negative 6, look at in our notes, our types of solutions. This answer means all real numbers. Okay, another way to write that is infinitely many solutions. Okay, and this is an identity. So all of these basically mean the same identity, mean the same thing. Okay, what that means is no matter what, I can put any number in for b, and 3 times 4b minus 2 will equal -6 plus 12b. Okay, no matter what. If b was 0, it would work. If b was 10, it would work. If b was -20, it would work. If b was a kabillion, it would work. Okay, so anytime you solve the equation and you come out with -6 equals -6, or you have the same number on both sides, then that is infinitely many solutions, all real numbers. It's an identity. Okay, that covers us for page 11. If you'll pull up the next video for page 12, and we'll finish up our lesson. Thanks so much and have a great day.